So, first things first, Charles,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Very good.
Well, I want to start in the beginning. I read somewhere that your mother was maybe one of the first VJs for MTV.
Yeah, they did, that's good research. Yeah, she has one of the original MTV jackets.
And so how much of this rubbed off on you, this MTV influence?
Well, I knew that I grew up watching MTV Jams every morning at 6 a.m.
Okay.
And it was because of seeing all these videos of these rappers like Murphy Lee and Clips and Pharrell that I got into rap music.
Okay.
And I was always interested in like how they made, you know, the beat, like how they made that beat. And I found out that Pharrell used the Korg Triton Studio, so I was like, I have to get the Korg Triton Studio. And that was like a $5,000 US dollar piano in 2001. It was huge, and I was like 11 or 10, like trying to figure out how to use it.
Okay, but then you also have a jazz background, so how did these two worlds kind of meet?
Hip hop is a lot like bebop, as Q-Tip say, from Tribe Called Quest. Shout out to them. Hip hop is a lot like bebop, and where the chord changes, especially in the early '90s in hip hop, were directly taken sometimes from early Bill Evans records, John Coltrane records, and loops and cut up and chopped. Even like Kanye West, when he would chop up records from like Shaka Khan, like those chord changes in that Shaka Khan record, very jazzy David Foster chord changes. I'm just like tracing everything back and forth. So everything up to that point was kind of driven from jazz, and from jazz it was classical music. So I would just, out of interest, study jazz music just because I heard the similarities in hip hop, and I would study classical music because I would hear the similarities in pop music.
And you just mentioned you were around 10, 11 at this point. Were you already composing or writing your own stuff?
I was. It wasn't very good. I probably started writing my first song when I was like 13. And I was never I don't consider myself still to this day to be a good lyricist, but I'm a good song putter together person. I can put together a song pretty well. And I, to this day, will write music by listening to other music. Like I'll listen to a song, it'll live in my head, and my head will mix it up for me, and then I'll make a new song. And that's how I wrote my first song when I was 13, by listening to like a 98 Degrees record with Nick Lachey.
Do you still have a recording of that song?
Yes, unfortunately, but it's back in New Jersey. So.
When was the last time you listened to it?
Probably over 15 years
Okay,
ago.
okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But could you already see traces or hear traces of where you wanted to go with it?
No, I kind of just rode the wave a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, even my music sounded completely different 2 years ago than it does now. But there's always been one goal, and that's to make the catchiest music possible. If I'm making an album, I want it to be a body of work, but I want it to be catchy songs. But, you know, with that, you'll get like, you know, all the cool people who, you know, are critiquing albums. Like, it's Charlie Puth came out with a pop album. He's not very cool, so I'm going to give him a low rating. But they do that so they can get ratings on their website or whatever they're doing. We sold 500,000 copies.
But that's an interesting point you make, because it seems in the past couple of years the word pop has kind of gotten a bit dirty in a way. But I can't tell why. But do you have a
pop is getting cool again if you fit the cool chord changes in pop music and don't make it sound so bubblegummy.
Right.
That's what you don't want. You don't want the bubblegum sound. But you want pop music is just popular music. In 1950, pop music was it was whatever that Charleston dance inspired type music, and also Count Basie and jazz orchestration. Like that was pop music. Well, maybe that was like late 40s, but you know what I mean. Pop music is going to change. It was pop music in the 80s. In 1985, it was Madonna, get into the groove. 1975, it was Jackson Browne and James Taylor and the Carpenters. 65, it was hippie music, Oliver, maybe more Carpenters, Seals and Crofts, so
Sure.
on, you know.
And so, what's your aim with what you just said then? Is it to be able to reach as many people as possible?
Yeah.
To kind of include them?
So that's exactly. So when I come out with this debut album, I want to reach as many people as possible. I want to reach 7-year-olds to 70-year-olds, and maybe even 90-year-olds and 2-year-olds, because I see 2-year-olds on Twitter. Their parents taping them listening to One Call Away, and they're crying and they stop crying. Like, that means that the music is getting to them. And you know, a daughter's playing it for her grandmother, and she's like 90, and she's in a nursing home, and she's playing One Call Away for her, and she's reacting to that. So I want to make my music as broad and dynamic as possible. And then, when you come out with the sophomore album, then you make it a little bit more artistic.
Sure.
Once you have that established fan base, which is what I'm working on right now. If you start out too artistic, you're going to turn people off. So.
And well, you studied music as well. I believe you went to Berkeley and studied music production.
Yeah.
So this might be a very difficult question to answer, but what to you makes a good song? What makes a good track that appeals to what you say from ages 2 to 70?
The production.
Okay.
The production is everything. The production can and the key of the song can, like, when people send me tracks, like a producer will send me a track and I'll put a top line on it. When I say top line, that's just like, you know, I'll just put a melody and a lyric on top of it. If the key of the song isn't right, I'll transpose it and I'll think, what is the key of the song that people are going to sing along to the most? And the best key, in my opinion, of a song is E major, which is what Marvin Gaye is in, because guys can sing it. Let Marvin Gaye get it on. And girls can sing, let's Marvin Gaye get it on. Like, even though that song was a bit controversial when it came out, I mean, it's in the perfect key where guys and girls can sing it. And if you eliminate a sex, you're gonna eliminate half your market. So, like when Bop by Hanson, you remember that record from '97? Sure. The demo was good. It had the same vocals on it as the current one does. Well, current, like the one from 1997. That song is a bop, literally. The demo was good, but the drums weren't punchy. The kick was kind of. Then they brought it to a producer. I don't know his or her name, but they brought it to a producer. They put record scratches and like a different type of swing that was really popular in the late '90s, with a punchy ass kick drum and a punchy ass snare. And when the Timberland told me this, when you have a kick that hits you in the back and a snare that slaps you in the face when you're dancing, if you can't dance, there's nothing you can do. You just have an okay song. But when you take the production to the next level, that's when the song comes to life. That's why producing is so important to me, like making sure that everything sounds sonically perfect.
Right. And then, well, you say now for the sophomore album, you can allow yourself to be a little bit more artistic. Have you started thinking about it or started writing even?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I've started to, it's hard for me to think of topics to write about when I'm on tour, because I'm doing very monotonous activities. Not that stuff like this isn't fun, it's a pleasure to talk to you, but like, you know, doing the promo at the same time every day, doing the sound check at the same time every day, like I need a little bit of a switch up in my life. So when I go back, when I'm done with this tour and not everything is on a schedule so much, and like I'll have some room to think, that's when the topics come in. Right now I'm just making beats.
Okay. And well, finally, I think the new single is "We Don't Talk Anymore."
Yeah.
And then, well, this kind of ties in with what you just mentioned, because I read that the beat was created in the Philippines and the guitar was created in Japan. So how do you balance kind of creating a song when you're flying all over the world?
It's hard, and sometimes you'll get a gem like "We Don't Talk Anymore." With the song, I wrote the chorus in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's really simple, and it all came about from me talking to a friend. Like, the best type of lyric is the lyric that people already know how to say. They like speak it in their language every day. So how many times have you ever heard a person say, "Oh, we don't talk anymore"? It didn't end well. I was talking to a friend, and he said exactly that, and I was just like, "We don't talk anymore. We don't talk," and I just had that in my head no melody, just like the da 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 da, with that tempo in it. So I went to Japan. The next day I was in this nice hotel at the top, like this penthouse. So I was I was really inspired because I was like, you know, taking a nice shower. I was eating the best food in Japan, and I was like, so many endorphins were released in my mind that I just heard this guitar line, like this Ed Sheeran kind of, and I took out my microphone, and my microphone wasn't working, and I was like, oh God, I'll just record it with my iPhone. It'll be really cool, because the noise of the room when it hits the sidechain, and the sidechain's that makes you groove, it's gonna be in the recording regardless. So
sure.
I'm recording this guitar with my iPhone, and I put the sidechain on, and I put the kick drum, and the kick drum and the guitar is two things, and it just sounded perfect. And I'm like, I just get excited, and then I start to come up with more lyrics because I get so excited by the way things sound, and then I put it away for like 4 days,
okay.
because if I listen to it too much, I'm gonna, you know, get not excited about it. And I go to the Philippines, and I drank like a hard liquor, and like my mind loosened up a bit, and I went, and I was like, oh, that's kind of basic, just having my voice there. What if we pitched it like, that's really high, but like, you know, it sounded like a weird flute kind of thing,
right?
And then I put the sidechain on that, and so I had the weird flute thing, the guitar, and the kick drum, and it started to sound like a song. And then you put all the other shit in there, like the snare drum and everything.
Did you have Selena in mind to do the vocals?
No,
okay.
I didn't. I had the whole song. This whole song was just supposed to be me. But then, when I was writing the lyrics out with my friend Jay Cash, who I write everything with, I started to think, maybe this is like a conversation between a guy and a girl, and I thought to myself, oh shit, another duet. But I just happened to be talking to Selena on FaceTime, and I was like, damn, I remember working on this. She was like, I was like, I'm working on this song right now. I think you'd sound great on it. And she heard it and fell in love with it. And because everybody can relate to that statement,
sure.
We don't talk anymore. Everyone has dated somebody where maybe things didn't end so well, and they don't talk anymore. But and then Selena came on, sang it in my closet while I was holding the broken microphone up, and she was singing it, and that's how it happened.
Okay. I think my time's up, so thank you very much for your time.
Of course. I love talking about stuff like this.